Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. It's my NFL game preview. The Detroit Lions taking on the Minnesota Vikings. If you like the video today, please come in and share it. I surely appreciate it here at 100 Yards Football. Special thanks to my producer, Logan Landers, for making it happen this morning. Well, Detroit. There was a team that was on Hard Knocks this season. And I'm going to go back to last year when they hired Dan Campbell as the head coach. And I like his press conference when he said that we're going to bite off some kneecaps. Well, I broadcast here locally out of the metro Atlanta area. I live here in Douglasville, Georgia. And I remember some media members came out and called him a buffoon and said he was crazy. And you know who I'm calling out? Because I remember your name. You was a quarterback on the 1980 national championship team at Georgia. I'm not going to call your name out, but you know what I'm talking about. And you called the young man a buffoon. And I said, wow, why are you ripping Dan Campbell? And why everybody saying he's a buffoon? But all I know is right now the Lions are 1-1. They scored 35 points in a very close game against the Eagles. They scored 36 points against the Commandos. Jared Goff, 471 yards, 6 touchdowns on the season, 1 INT. When he came in the trade over there, when Detroit traded Matthew Stafford to the Rams and they brought in Jared Goff, I remember people saying, Jared Goff is a bust. He can't win the big one. But all I know, Jared Goff is only one of the few quarterbacks that's gotten his team to the Super Bowl. Then I look at that great tailback. Out of your school, you know what I'm talking about, 1980 national championship quarterback, DeAndre Swift. He's averaging 10 yards a carry on you, 200 yards, 1 touchdown. Remember in Hard Knocks when Deuce Staley, the running backs coach, said, man, you could be the best in the game? DeAndre Swift is doing this thing. But what's been most impressive, 2 players, Amon-Ra St. Brown, out of USC, 17 receptions in 2 games, 180 yards, 3 touchdowns. Now, he was a 4th-round pick. So he don't get the love of former USC receivers like a Marquise Lee, a Nelson Alexander, Lynn Swan, a Keyshawn Johnson, a Dwayne Jarrett, or Johnny Morton, or Curtis Conway, or Robert Woods. But let me tell you something. That young man is balling from USC, California, yay, the city of Compton, Hollywood. He's laying it down in Motown. And then Aiden Hutchinson. That young man, I didn't know had a little soul in him. Remember he did that skit? Michael Jackson. Come from a good family. His dad, Chris, is a doctor, formerly University of Michigan alum. But man, last week, 3 sacks against Washington. He's got 2 tackles for loss. I see why that everybody's saying he was the best player in the draft. At the time, I was still wavering that fact. I put my money on Kayvon Thibodeau, but I tell you, I was wrong. Aiden Hutchinson, you did your thing. You balling. I'm looking at Al Baker, Robert Porcher, Alex Karras, Dan Campbell, you Motown, baby. Frida Payne, Anita Baker, The Temptations, Thomas Hearns, McDonough, L&M, Bob Seger, Kid Rock, Keith Washington, Barry Gordy, the 4 Tops, Smokey Robinson, Dan Campbell. You bagging up what you saying in the Detroit, baby. Now you're going on the road and you playing the Minnesota Vikings. There's one thing that I look at a football player. I look at Kirk Cousins. I think he's a very talented player. Very talented. But every time, even when he was in Washington, when it's prime time, he wets the bed. Like he did Monday night. 27 of 46. 3 INTs, 1 touchdown, 221 yards, only 4 yards a pop. And then you 2-10 on Monday night. When it's a big game, Kirk Cousins hasn't answered the bell. And he's got two of the most talented offensive players in the game. It's it's unthinkable and not accepted that Justin Jefferson out of LSU last week only had 48 yards receiving on 6 catches when the previous week in the opening game he had 184 on Green Bay. And then Dalvin Cook, who I consider one of the top 5 backs in the game, only had 6 rushes for 17 yards. That's something. Out there in Minneapolis, Kirk Cousins, you got to be the man. It's time. You got paid. You was first quarterback that got paid that huge money. It's time for you to step up because you got a Detroit Lions team that's coming into Minnesota this weekend. They on fire. They coming with Motown, baby. They coming with Madonna. They coming with Glenn Fry, the Eagles. They coming. Dan Campbell, he biting kneecaps off. Remember at the end of Hard Knocks what Dan Campbell said? The young lady asked him, how do you think this Detroit Lions football team is going to be this year? Remember, it took him almost maybe a minute or two to really sit there and think. He said, we could be good if we want to be, if everybody listens and buy in to what we're doing here. Aaron Glenn, Kevin Shepard, Stevenson High School, LSU out of this area. Mark Brunell, Hank Fraley, Deuce Staley. That's what I love about them. The guys put together a real great coaching staff, and it's coming together. The Lions, I'm taking them in the win over Minnesota, 27-21. I'm taking the Detroit. I'm buying them. I'm buying that drink in Detroit. Len Barney, Charlie Sanders, Mel Farr, Billy Sims. I'm biting kneecaps off. Dan Campbell, I'm loving you, baby. One more time, Detroit Lions 27, the Minnesota Vikings 21. If you like the video, please come in and share it. I'm Vincent Turner. And to my producer, Mr. Logan Landis, thank you. Have a good day. Motown.